Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simone here. So today I am going to be filming my August TBR, and I'm really sorry if the noise is kind of a bit weird in the background, but it is about 32 degrees today. I think it's like the hottest day of the year. Although elsewhere that's probably nothing. In the UK, like, we have no aircon, we have no experience of this heat, so we're not used to it. So basically we're all dying. Obviously not, but it is really hot and I can't bring myself to turn the fan off. Like, I've pointed it, it's away from my camera and it's pointed a different direction, so I'm hoping that cuts down on some of the noise, but it's just too much otherwise. So yes, that's why I also do not have a full face of makeup on. So if you can tell that I look a bit ropey, that's why. I literally put on like as little as possible because I didn't want it to like sweat atop my face. However, one thing I'm very excited to tell you, and I hope that you might have spotted, there are two new additions in my house, and that is Mr. Dumbledore over here and Miss Granger. It was my birthday on the 1st of July and I got these from, Dumbledore was from my parents and Hermione was from my boyfriend, because I obviously, as you probably know, I think you can see that in the shot, I have Harry and Ron already, and I wanted Hermione and Albus Dumbledore, because why would you not want them? So yeah, so that is my kind of special whatever. So let me get started on today's video, which is my August TBR. So I've kind of decided that TBRs are the most helpful thing in my life. That sounds really weird. Basically, in July, you won't have seen the wrap up for that yet, but when that comes out, I had such a successful reading month, and I'm completely like holding all the credit to my TBR from July, because I felt like I really followed it and I read some other things as well, and everything was great. So I've decided to stick with the TBR. I'm going to give it another go, but I've decided to sort of split it into 3 sections. So my plan is going to be, out of 10 books that I'm going to do every month, the first 3 that I choose are going to be library books, which is weird for me because I normally read more, but I'm trying to read books that I have on my shelf, so I'm trying to kind of do a good percentage. So I thought 3 out of 10 books in a month is quite good to kind of get from the library. Obviously, if I have more like reservations that I have come in at different times, then obviously it will change a little bit, but that's kind of the aim. Then the next 3 are going to be stand up to the TBR books, because as you know, I'm doing stand up to the TBR and I do struggle to kind of stay on them and kind of actually stick to them. So what I've decided to do is, like, out of 10 books that I do on my stand up to the TBR, essentially I normally get about 7, but my thought is, even if I get 9, that's like 3 months, and then I'll have a video definitely up every 3 months. That's kind of the plan. So another 3 are going to be stand up to the TBR, and then the final 3 that I have pre-picked are going to be a specific theme. So like last month it was catching up on my summer TBR from the previous year. So obviously this month will be a different, and those will be 3 of those books. And then the final one will be the random pick. That's what I'm going to do, so let's get started and talk about them today. So the first 3 books are 3 library books that I currently have out of the library, so I'm going to talk about those first. So the first book I have is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which is the 2nd book in the Lunar Chronicles. I think there's like 4 altogether, and I read Cinder probably like 2 years ago now, which is ridiculous because I loved it, and I just haven't got around to reading the next one. If you don't know about this series, I mean, I know nothing about this because I don't want to read the back, so I might spoil myself a bit. But Cinder was about Cinder, who was a cyborg, and it's a sort of loose retelling on Cinderella. And I believe Scarlet, I'm assuming, is about Red Riding Hood. I don't know anything else about it than that, other than I'm really excited to read it. Next up, I have a bit of a thriller, which I'm very excited to read, and that is The Good Girl by Mary Kubica, and I don't really know too much about this. As far as I know, this is about a man who is stalking a girl, and it's about she goes on a one-night stand with this guy, and then something bad happens, and then I guess it's about that and kind of what happens after that. Like I said, don't know too much. I love to go into a thriller without knowing too much about it. So yeah, this is one I'm really excited to read. I've heard lots and lots of good things about this book, so hopefully I will really love it. Then the last one I have to talk about, which is a library book, is a book that I was recommended when I watched, is it Margot Wood? I can't remember. I think I'm sure her name's Margot. She also appears on Epic Reads YouTube channel. I'll link her channel below and her official channel, which, like I said, I think it's Margot Wood, but off the top of my head I can't completely remember. But she was talking about the fact that she doesn't like the book Dark Matter, which I'm quite interested to read, but she didn't like it, but she said this one was amazing and you should read it instead. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And this one is All Our Wrong Todays by Ilan Mastai, and this is a time travel novel, which I'll quickly read the inside because I don't 100% know about it. It says, it's 2016 and in Tom Barron's world, technology has solved all of humanity's problems. There's no war, no poverty, no underripe avocados. Unfortunately, Tom isn't happy. He's lost the girl of his dreams, and what do you do when you're heartbroken and have access to a time machine? Something very stupid indeed. So there is more to the synopsis, but that's kind of the initial bit. I don't really want to read too much more. Again, I've heard really good things. I think this is a 2017 release? 2017, yeah, so it's quite a new book. And I've not really heard anyone else talk about it apart from her, but she really, really rated it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Also, no underripe avocados. I mean, you can't go wrong. So the next 3 books I have are actually also from the library, but they are the 3 books that I had to get out of the library because they were part of my stand-up to the TBR round 3, which I'll link below. And yeah, I'm really interested to kind of finally get to these books and be able to read the next lot of the stand-up to the TBR. So the first one is actually one that I've tried to read before, and I didn't get very far because I wasn't loving it, but I'm hoping this will give me the push to read it because it is supposed to be really good, and maybe it's just something that I might be more inclined to pick up. And that is The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, which, as far as I remember, is a kind of memoir, I guess, but it's based on, obviously, Jeanette Walls, and it's about her. She grew up in poverty with very, very little money, nothing much kind of in terms of material things, and basically her family still live in like a squat or something like that, yeah, in an abandoned building. And she's like a journalist, and she's covering like the Academy Awards and like black tie parties and things, and it's that juxtaposition between her life and her parents' life, and they just don't want any kind of help from her, which, like I said, I feel like I'm going to try to read this. I'm going to give it longer, I think, this time, because last time I think I gave it like 20 pages and I wasn't a big fan, but I think I'm going to give it longer because I've been proving this in the last couple of months when I read Into the Wild by John Krakauer, that if you give a book a little bit more, you might actually really like it. So hopefully I'll like this one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to complete it anyway, even if I don't love it. Then I have a book I've been wanting to read for a long time, and is a topic that's very prevalent these days, which is very sad, and that is This Is Where It Ends by Marika Nijkamp, I think is how you say that. And this is following a school shooting, so it takes place in Opportunity High School, where the principal is giving a speech and then something happens and suddenly there is somebody shooting the students and the teachers. And it's told from 4 different perspectives over the span of 54 minutes. And it's about kind of, I don't know if it's told from the perspective of the shooter. As far as I know, it's not told from the actual shooter's perspective, but it's told from 4 students who are at the school, and it's about the things that happen. I think this could be done really well, or it could be done really badly. Like, it's quite polar opposite, I think. If it's done with respect and with dignity for potential victims in these situations, then that's what I'm hoping for. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people really like this and some people think it's disrespectful, so I'm interested to see what side I fall on with this. And then the last one from my stand up to the TBR is one that I'm terrified about. I'm scared, guys. This is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. You'll all know because I've talked about this before. Me and Brandon Sanderson are not generally friends. I tried to read A Way of Kings about 3 times, I think, and I just could not get through it. I found it, I don't know, I'm just not a high fantasy person, but this was, like I say, on my stand up to the TBR, and it's the first book in a new series. When I say new, it was new also when the first book came out, but it's a new series to me is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how many books are in this series, but I don't even know what it's about really. It's about people with powers called epics, and I think that's all I know about it. I am interested to read this. I'm really hoping that I like it. Also, I thought this was going to be a massive book, and it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. I think I'm just used to the fact that Brandon Sanderson's, all of his other books I've seen have been massive, whereas this one is not even 400 pages, so hopefully this will be a big yes from me. Then we have my themed books for the month, and for this month my theme is going to be psychological thrillers written by women, and I have lots of these on my shelves, and I've decided to pick 3 that I think I'm the most interested in reading right now. The first one I have is Room by Emma Donoghue, which, as far as I know, this is about a woman who I assume has been kidnapped or something. I don't really know, but she is living with her 5-year-old son who has only ever known this one room. He doesn't know about the world outside, and then something happens and I think he escapes and then has to figure it out. I don't know, I could have made that up. I think, like I said, this is a film now, this is the film cover I have. I don't know too much else about this, but I've heard really good things. I've also heard really good things about Emma Donoghue's other book. I think it's, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about the girl who's not eaten for ages, and yeah, I don't know, I really want to read her work. I've heard really good things, and I also really want to see this film, so hopefully if I read the book then I'll be able to watch the film. The next one I have is an author that I've heard too many things about and still not read one of her works. I actually own 2 of them, and this is the one I've decided for this month, and this is I Let You Go by Claire Mackintosh. I'm just really going to quickly read the back. So it says, "A tragic accident. It all happened so quickly. She couldn't have prevented it, could she? In a split second, Jenna Gray's world descends into a nightmare. Her only hope of moving on is to walk away from everything she knows, to start afresh. Desperate to escape, Jenna moves to a remote cottage on the Welsh coast, but she is haunted by her fears, her grief, and her memories of a cruel November night that changed her life forever. Slowly, Jenna begins to glimpse the potential for happiness in her future, but her past is about to catch up with her, and the consequences will be devastating." That doesn't really tell me what this is about, if I'm totally honest. It's just a bad accident and something you can't escape, so yeah, I'm really hoping I like this. I've heard, I think was it Lauren from Lauren in the Books talks about how much she really likes this book, and she didn't expect to, I don't think, when she first read it, so hopefully this is good for me too. And the final book that I've chosen previously is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I've heard many people talk about this. I don't fully know what it's about, even though I've heard many people talk about this. I'm sure they've said, I just sort of switch off because I don't want to know before I read it. Yeah, it's meant to be kind of creepy, but kind of weird, and oh, I've just spotted something on the back. It says, "Not since Jane Eyre has a heroine faced such difficulty with the other woman." I am absolutely intrigued, because as you all know, Jane Eyre is my favourite classic ever. Then we have our random pick of the month. As you all know, I picked The Bronze Horseman last month. When I'm filming this, I haven't read that yet, so we'll see whether or not that happens. So let's do the random selection. I really hope, I'm hoping, I've got quite a lot of, I'm just looking over here at my pile, I've got a lot of thrillers this month and kind of hard hitting, so maybe like a contemporary, or maybe another crime book. I'm not too upset about that. Let's see what we get, guys. So, let's go on to, I love the fact that Goodreads has a random, like you can sort your books by random. I'm a bit nervous. Right, I've pressed the button. I think it's loading. I will have a look when it's finished. I think it's finished. This is going to be my reaction on camera. Are you ready? I'm kind of excited, but I also think this is ridiculous. Let me get it, and then you'll understand as soon as you see it. Oh dear, this could be interesting. Are you ready, guys? So the book that is my random pick of August, just remember, the middle of summer, is A Merry Little Christmas by Debbie Macomber. Don't really know what to say other than that I will probably still read this and really love it, but it's not what I anticipated, I won't lie. So this says, I'm going to read it because I love reading the back of Debbie Macomber's books because it just fills me with joy, and also it's going to be like Christmas magic. So this says, Beth Morehouse was expecting presents under the tree, not a basket of abandoned puppies on the doorstep of 1225 Christmas Tree Lane. I mean, could it not be cuter already? Now it's a race to find them new homes before she and her daughters leave for their skiing trip. With just 3 days to Christmas, Beth needs a puppy miracle. To top off her worries, the girls have invited their dad, Beth's ex-husband Kent, for the holidays. Clearly they have visions of a mum and dad reunion under the mistletoe, but Kent's new girlfriend might have other ideas. Across the road at 5B Poppy Lane, the Shelton women are sharing relationship stories. Helen approves of the handsome soldier her granddaughter Ruth has brought home, but he reminds her so much of a man she once knew. Will Helen's tales of romance lead Ruth to a happy ever after Christmas? With mistletoe and festive miracles, there's nothing like a Cedar Cove Christmas in the middle of August. Yep, this could be fun. I'm kind of excited though, I'm not going to lie. I love Debbie Wilconver's book, she's amazing. So, and it's kind of what I said, I wanted a contemporary book, like I'm happy with that. I wasn't expecting it to be Christmassy, but you win some, you lose some, and I think I've won there. So there are the 10 books that I plan on reading in August. Let me know what you think. Have you been reading Christmas books in the middle of August before? Because that's going to happen with me. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I upload new videos every Monday and Friday at 5 PM. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye guys!